to say nature got me inspired. I saw all the beauty around me and I just wanted to emulate that. And I would go on little hikes by myself when I was very little, and I would gather things along the way, and then they would make themselves known in my sketchbook, and I would, replicate them. And so I was gathering and replicating from a very young age, and that still is probably the biggest source of inspiration for my work is nature. I think that just in my day-to-day life, I'm constantly calling attention to the beauty that surrounds us at all times, and that's something that my artwork does very well, is it just calls to the beauty that we can find not only in a massive oak tree, but also in a tiny ant. So one of the things that I've realized is my propensity to travel is fueled by living in a different way so that I can gain perspective on the way that I normally live my life. Obviously, Los Angeles and Juneau are two very, very different places. And so what really excites me about living in a place like Juneau is the idea that it is so diverse from my normal experience, and it will give me a way to reflect upon my life and a way to share stories and explain these differences to people back home. And when I do my artwork, it will influence that, and so Juneau really calls to me in that way. And I think the North has also called to me for a very long time. I've done a ton of traveling in the South, in South America, in Kenya, and the North has been kind of tapping me on my shoulder and saying, hey, it's time to see the other end of the spectrum. One of the things that my art is all about is mixing what is seen with what is unseen. And so everything that I create includes elements that are present in our physical world, things that you can perceive normally with your eyes or with your five senses, and then it goes a step further when it takes people into the dream world or into the unseen, which is actually present at all times with us in this physical realm as well. And so it dives into different dimensions and a lot of spirituality, all with the broader focus of grounding that information here on this earth and utilizing it. A lot of my work is also a call to activism and how to live most beautifully and gracefully and in balance with everything around us on this planet. And I think that's also the way that my art teaches other artists. It really pushes other artists to then utilize their own capacity for creativity to call people to awareness. So I work with ink, and each of those lines is a tiny line made with ink. And what inspired this piece is just taking some of the elements that are going to be so present with us in Juneau, such as the animals, the wildlife, the humpback whales, the bald eagles, the wolves, the things that are very iconic to the northern wild. And then having that all be holding Juneau. And so Juneau's in the center of all of this beauty and really held there. And I love the idea that you can boat and fly into Juneau, but you cannot drive into Juneau. It just makes it that much more held by the wildness around it. And so that's my inspirational piece that I'm working on.